Money isn't important.
Once you're self-sufficient, you can be able to actually live your life based on your own rules. So you need to be able to have your job to be able to subsidize yourself.
That isn't important. That element, it's about how much money you should have. Honestly, it sounds morbid. Money can't keep you warm at night, and you should know your worth. You are more than your bank balance. Hey guys, it's me, Annabella, and this handsome chap, look at his face, is Emre, and we are, of course, your favourite dating coaches from Kamalifestyles.com. And today, we thought we'd try a little bit of a new segment. So, welcome to the Karma Couch. Ta-da! So, basically, what me and Emre have decided to do is to delve into and debate certain dating topics. So, you can see our point of views and we can talk about it and maybe change some of your opinions. So, today's question is, how much money should a man have?
Yes, guys, it's such a taboo topic. So I've been reading your comments as well. So Annabella and I decided today to talk about it, and we'll actually talk about ins and outs today. So Annabella, what do you think?
Right, okay, so to point on what Emre just...
Before we start, please hit that cheeky little subscribe button over there and turn on the notifications, as there will be many more videos will be coming in your way.
Oh, yes. Okay, so... first things first, like Emre just said, the comments. Oh my goodness, so many of you comment about the need for money in relationships. And I'm going to be honest, I find it quite annoying because I feel like it's quite a kind of like a crutch for a lot of people that when they have relationship mistakes or something doesn't work within a relationship, instead of looking at themselves and going, oh, I wonder what I did wrong, I wonder, how I could have changed the outcome, or what she may have done that didn't work on a personality level, and they just go, well, I didn't have enough money. And that, to me...
it turns negative, isn't it? No,
it's so negative. Yeah. And it's so unnecessary because money isn't important. And I know I say that,
It is important, and it is not important at the same time, which is like, I will explain in a few why it is important, why it is not important. It is important, you need to actually, pretty much like, you need to subsidize yourself, it's like you need to be able to pay for yourself. That's the most important thing. You need to be self-sufficient. Once you're self-sufficient, you can be able to actually live your life based on your own rules. You don't have to pay for women, like especially in this day and age. Like, it was like back in 50s, 60s, lads. It's like things are so much changed now. It's like actually you can go into dates. Most of the British girls here actually they pay their own bills. They've got jobs and they make more money than us in some stage. So I don't think so in this sense like money is important. But money is important for you to be self-sufficient. So you need enough money to be able to support yourself, which is like it is your living expenses, your rent, your travels, your pocket money. So you need to be able to have your job to be able to subsidize yourself.
Exactly. Because I think when people say money, I think they think riches. And they think of nice flashy cars and, loads of jewellery and designer clothing. I'm like, that isn't important. That element, it's about how much money you should have. And Emre's completely right. It's about being self-sufficient. And obviously, social media, I love it to pieces, but it also emits this image that you're not successful unless you've got 5 sports cars, 3 mansions in 27 countries and whatever. And of course, when you compare yourself to that, you're never going to have that much money. That is the 1%.
But social media is a poison anyway.
Oh, God,
like most people lie their teeth off, so... I don't believe that it is authentic, honestly, gentlemen, so in that sense, like, you need to be able to know what to believe, what not to believe, or what to watch, what not to watch. This is very important here because you may be going into a comparison mode. You maybe start comparing yourself with someone projecting you the best side of his life. Maybe in deep down, maybe he's so sad. You don't know that. You just see it in the Facebook or in the social media in the best parts.
And that's what I always say. Social media is everybody's highlight reel. And it's everybody's best points, but you don't see anything behind it. So in regards to money, these people could look like they're living the most lavish lifestyle, but you don't know how much debt that person's got. And somebody said this, and it's the concept of how you perceive being rich. And I can't remember, I'm going to try and rephrase it, but who is richer? Is it a guy who has a 4-bedroom house, he's got a Volvo, he has a nice family and supports it, has no debt and can do nice things or whatever? Or is it the person that has a massive mansion, has a Ferrari, goes on all these holidays and has a massive collection of debt? Who is richer? Because really,
it's a good point, Annabella.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing, and who really is richer in that moment? Because we live in this society where you spend so much money because you think that you have to live up to some sort of expectation. And this is where a lot of people fall down in relationships, because they assume you're supposed to have a certain amount of money, live this specific lifestyle, and if you don't live that lifestyle, you're not good enough, which is rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Honestly, like me and Emre, of course we do street interviews, and in the centre of London, there will be a guy can drive past in a Bugatti Veyron, beep his horn and leer at me out the window. That to me is so unattractive, because in that moment, that man is defining himself by his surroundings. And I don't want to, honestly, I don't want to know that person if that's what you're putting out there into the world.
How about the guy with the Porsche who gave you his business card?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. So it was really funny. We were literally on Oxford Circus and the cars were going past and this guy literally stops the traffic, leans out of his Porsche and gives me his business card to call him. I mean, fair play, that was a brave move.
Yeah.
And he also ruined all the traffic and everyone was beeping, so it's quite hilarious. But it's strange because I feel like he used his financial prowess as a selling point for himself. But honestly, it sounds morbid, but money can't keep you warm at night.
Okay, so do you date with guys with money actually?
Oh, of course you're going to ask.
So what sort of guys do you date? Do you date guys with money actually?
I have dated guys with money. I've also dated guys without money. I don't look at somebody's financial records to benchmark whether they should go out with me or not. Honestly, if I find them funny, I'll go out with them. That's it. As long as you have...
Only funny.
It's pretty much only funny. I don't care who you are, where you're from, if you make me laugh, I'm literally yours. I mean, you can buy me a glass of wine.
Try to make her laugh. Here you go. It's like you go here.
But to me, that's my thing. Because I've got quite a specific sense of humour as well. You guys have watched the street interviews. I'm like quite charismatic. I'm like quite sarcastic and will say like to do things. So if a guy can make me laugh and aligns my sort of humour with his, I actually find that quite difficult to come by. Mm-hmm. And it's more the fact if people find me funny that I find attractive.
Oh, okay.
If people find me funny, then I'm like, you can definitely go out on a date with me.
Guys, do you find Annabella funny? There you go.
That's the thing. If you think I'm funny, then I'm like, yeah, definitely. But that, to me, life is about laughter. Life to me, it's about laughter and it's about happiness. And yes, money is a way that you can fund happiness, and there's no denying that. But even if you don't have money, your happiness and fun and enjoyment shouldn't diminish. If you're in your overdraft, doesn't mean you can't laugh and have a joke. And it's about your perspective on life that I find attractive, not your bank balance. Simple as that. I mean, of course, it's handy to have money, and I'm not going to deny that because that would be a lie. And I don't want to, say that, I'd date a tramp, because I probably wouldn't date a tramp. And I know it could be the funniest thing ever, but if he can't support himself, then I wouldn't want to be a support for them. I think a relationship should be quite equal, and you should be able to fund yourself. How lavish you fund yourself is up to you, but as long as you can have a roof over your head, pay your bills, and not get consumed by debt, I think that's enough money.
Do you think that money defines man's masculinity?
I think...
Can you give us a little bit female perspective on that, actually? I'm really curious as well myself, I think that, it's a big part of it, it would define the masculinity, but how about from the female side?
From a female point of view, I think men think it matters, and
I think that it matters, it defines, but it's not everything. I can easily say here, it's not everything.
I believe that we still haven't broken free from more of a prehistoric way of how society works. The man would provide for a woman. That is basically how we have gotten to this point, and it's only now.
But that was 50s and 60s model,
but
isn't it?
I still think that
the social programming said, for example, man should be the breadwinner, and the women should be raising the kids. So that's the biggest, actually, I think that now is the biggest stereotype.
Oh, gotcha.
That's been ingrained in our brains. So in that sense, does that define our masculinity? And no. We are so much changed. Technology is changed. Birth control pills. Yeah. Women are more free now. They make their own money. Equal rights. Yeah. Equal pay. I don't think so. It is wrong either. So I think that it's all helped our society to get better. Yeah. So in that sense, it doesn't define the masculinity, you do have money or not. But of course, again, I'm going to come down to you guys being self-sufficient. It's an important thing, actually. I will emphasize here, you need to be self-sufficient. You can't be a scared, forget about it, try to live off women. It will be a disaster, So in that sense, make sure that actually you
look after yourself.
You look after yourself.
You are your own priority.
Support yourself,
Everybody in every relationship and in every walk of life, you are your own priority, and it's your responsibility to look after yourself financially, mentally, emotionally. You can't pass that off onto anyone. I don't think you should become a burden, other than obviously, when you're a kid. That's the only time that you're a burden onto anyone. I wouldn't say burden, that's bad, isn't it? You don't burden your parents. But, they are responsible for you. Other than that, as soon as you break into adulthood, then you have to stand on your own 2 feet, and you shouldn't be depending on anybody else. And I think that we still, even though times have changed, depending on the way that you were raised and the outlook of your parents and everything like that, some people still hold on to that. 50s and 60s mind frame of a man should provide for a woman. They still have that in their heads. And I don't think that nowadays is not necessary. So if you think that, and, when a woman, you feel like you're being rejected because you can't supply for a woman, you just need to change your perspective. And maybe...
Well, Annabella, that model actually in 50s, 60s, women should be raising kids, they should be in the kitchen cooking for a man. I think that made women really unhappy as well. That's why all the movements started, because they cracked up, being that probably, so in that sense actually, it's served the world in a better way, I see it, I think that in many sense, women get more powerful now, they can pay for themselves, and actually they can discover their identity, it's a great thing for them to foster their own femininity. I mean, if they make their decisions based on their sexual desires, there's nothing wrong with that either, back in time, yes, they wanted to be protected, they didn't have the jobs, they need men to survive, but now they don't need it, and I don't see that is wrong either, so that's not wrong.
No, and it's completely not, but I think some men don't have that mindset. I think some men still look at it in a prehistoric manner. And that's the thing. It's not to do with your bank balance. It's about the way that you perceive what women want from you. Women want for you to emotionally look after them. Not financially. They want you to emotionally look after them. They want you to be the person that they can rely on and depend on in an emotional fashion. For me, I'm a very strong female, but I still want moments where I can be vulnerable, and I want someone who look after me emotionally in that sense when I have times of weakness. Not financial times of weakness. I don't need somebody for that. I need somebody to emotionally look after me, not financially. And if you think that all your requirement is in a relationship is to be the bank balance and to be the bread earner, then you need to either change who you're with, because they shouldn't be looking at you for that. They should be looking at you for your emotions and what you can bring to the table on a personality basis, not because of your bank balance. And if they are, they're probably not good enough for you. In all honesty, I think if a woman, if you feel like your other half is using you for your money, you are better than that. You are better than that, and you shouldn't be made to feel like you're only as good as your bank balance. And that is something that no woman should make a man feel. No man should make a woman feel. No one should ever make the other person in their relationship feel that way. They should be an emotional support for each other, regardless of anything else.
Do you think that women are gold diggers? Because like I've seen a few comments, in our YouTube channel here. A lot of guys think that women are gold diggers. So I'm just bringing it now. I read your comments, guys. So like, actually, I wanted to hear. I want to bring it on and discuss this sour topic as well, because like a lot of guys posted, oh, women are gold diggers, they're gold digging, bees or whatever, But okay, let's discuss,
Let's discuss gold diggers. They're out there. Unfortunately,
they're gold diggers. Yeah, I've seen myself as well. Yeah,
exactly. And the thing is, I would love to sit here and say every woman of the female race is great, but they're not. There's gold diggers. There's selfish people. There's, I can't talk for every female that's on the planet, unfortunately. But you need to know what you deserve, and you should be able to pinpoint if a woman's using you for your money. That's your responsibility. Like when I went back to the beginning of the thing, it's your responsibility to look after yourself. Also, I think what I will say, controversially, is if there are gold diggers in the world, you have to think about whether you've let yourself be in that situation because you're using her for her looks and her body and what she gives you on that stance. Because a lot of the time, if you think of a gold digger, do you think of an ugly person? Do you think gold diggers are ugly?
Really, actually, like I go out a lot, guys, okay, and I see a lot of women, and most of them are actually done up, they look really good,
This is the thing.
They look really good.
And that's the point where you have to figure out why you're attracted to that person. Is it because of their emotional support that they're giving you and the vibe that you have off each other, or are you just physically attracted to them? Because if you're using them for their physique and looks, because they look good on your arm and that's what you want to admit out into the world and that's what you've looked for in a partner, then you're using them. Then you can't come at her and be like, well, how dare you use me for your bank balance? Because you're both using each other. It's a part exchange of goods, but only one has a monetary value. You can't put a monetary value on how good somebody looks on your arm. But that's the thing. If you are going for a woman based solely on her looks and that shallow concept, you can't then be like, oh, well, she's shallow because she used me for your money. Because you kind of did the same thing. Am I wrong? Am I right?
Well, okay. Well, actually, some women, they need to be gold digger. Some women need it. Some women probably need sugar daddies, or because they don't have funds, So like, it's a kind of fair trade when you think about it. It's like there's a mutual agreement here. It's like
that's the thing. When you see,
gold digger gets what she wants, and pretty much like
you
the other
get
side
what you want.
What they want.
Because that's the thing. Like these good-looking women who go for maybe substantially older men who wouldn't normally get a girl of that caliber.
Not necessarily.
Well, not necessarily. Okay, no, not necessarily.
Not necessarily. There are a lot of guys that are young and they got tons of money. And they've been gold digged. I've seen them myself. Like I do approach a lot of women through the trainings, through my social life, and I see a lot of them and in really like good places and what I've seen, actually, there are some guys that are young and they've got tons of money, and some of them being gold digged.
Yeah, and the thing is, but again, that's your responsibility to know if a woman's using you.
But guys, spot a gold digger.
You can spot a gold digger.
Listen, I spot a gold digger straight away. When I open them, if the conversation straight away goes to...
What do you do?
What car you drive?
Oh, God.
Dang!
Yeah.
you spot a gold digger, lads, straight away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to what I said before. If you are using your monetary value to advertise yourself to women in these nice cars, in these designer clothes, you're opening yourself up to women looking at you in that fashion. It's your job to be more than just a bank balance. It's your job and your responsibility to be so endearing to a person on a personality basis that they're not going to just use you for your money. But like Emre says, if somebody opens up a conversation with looking at somebody's watch, asking you what job you do, what car you drive, where you live, and all things
how much money you make, try to understand your status more than your personality, that's a big bet.
Yeah.
So
literally, ding, 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 ding.
That bet is
gold digger, get out of there, run away, make sure you've got your watch and your wallet. All right.
Well, they're not going to steal your
Okay, they're not going to steal it.
It's in the long run, you're going to lose more than your wallet, trust me.
Exactly, right? Exactly. But that's the thing. So I think to sum up, right, you know your worth, and you should know your worth. You are more than your bank balance. And if anybody makes you feel like you're not, they are not worth your time. So instead of maybe pointing the finger at these women and outwardly projecting that negativity, just take a moment and say, oh, I missed that she was looking at me just financially. I missed that we hadn't made that emotional connection that maybe I wanted or needed in that relationship. And then learn from that. And one thing I implore with you is to not let it taint future relationships. Because a lot of people do that. They will have one bad experience. They will have one woman who made you feel like you were crap and you were only worth what monetary value you had. And that will move forward, and you'll then look at women as if they all think like that. And that's not what it's like. Every person deserves a fresh new slate, as do you. You shouldn't be held by the things that you've gone through in your past. You are you now, currently. Everything that you've been through and you've experienced redefines who you are constantly. And so just if you have experienced, unfortunately, these women that have used you for your bank balance, just try and cast them aside. Just know in yourself that that's their problem. It's not yours. Your financial, if you're financially stable and you've made that, and if that wasn't enough for that female, that's her problem. That is not yours. And so you need to move forward with a fresh new head and a fresh new thinking, going forward into these relationships and being, you know what? This girl's not going to use me for my money. Or you can tell the telltale signs that when she is. And just avoid them. Look after yourself and avoid those people that are going to bring you down.
Well done. Yes, that was a good speech, actually.
There you go, right? There you go. But there you go. That's it. Yeah. So we hope you've enjoyed our Karma Couch feature. We're going to do so many more of these. So if you want any topics for us to debate, you go for it. Drop it in the comment box below. And I hope we kind of cleared up some of your opinions, changed some of your minds, opened the lid and broadened your horizons when it comes to money. And like, share, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you next time. I've been Annabella Rose, this handsome chap. Look at this face. It's Emre. Expert dating coaches from Kamalifestyles.com. If you do want to work with us and if you do need any help and advice, if you check out the description box below, you can find a link to our website with all of our ebooks, all of our products, all of our services. Get in contact with us. One of our customer service reps will be with you in less than 24 hours. Look at that, speedy. And we'll help you out. And hopefully we can help you change your dating life. And you can find that happiness that you deserve. See you next time.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.